Peter Obi is leaving no stone unturned in proving to Nigerians and to the entire world that he won the 2023 presidential election. This time, it was the arrival of Peter Obi's men in court with a standing television screen to further prove his point. Also, the Labour Party brought a witness from Channels Television who has been subpoenaed to testify. The height of this proceeding was when the presiding judge cautioned the Inec counsel for always objecting to evidences that were provided to the court, even though they were sure that Inec has certified these documents. Anyway, let's quickly get into what happened yesterday in court. Peter Obi's men were seen mounting a big television screen in the courtroom. The judges were seen seated and staring at the big screen. The clerk called out the case. You could still see Justice Ada still staring curiously at the TV screen. Here is the representation. S.A.N. Levy represented the Labour Party. S.A.N. Pinheiro represented Inec. S.A.N. Olujimi represented Tinubu and Shetima, while S.A.N. Bashirun represented the APC. The Labour Party lead counsel S.A.N. Levy said to the presiding judge, "My lord, we intend to start today by calling a witness who is on a subpoena. I will hand over to S.A.N. Okutepa, while S.A.N. Ikweto will lead the technical team and the software presentation." I know that by this time, the opposition lawyers will be shocked when the Labour Party counsel mentioned technical team and software presentation. Anyways, let's move on. So the Labour Party counsel said to the presiding judge, "My lord, we have two sets of subpoenas that were served Channels Television, and I will start with the witness that came on subpoena, and he came with his witness statements of oath which we have filed." So at this time, the witness was seen standing on his feet, and the clerk said to the witness, "Tell the court your name." The witness replied, "Lucky is my name," and the witness was sworn on oath. The Labour Party counsel said to the presiding judge, "My lord, this witness is subpoenaed on the 30th May 2023 and 6th June 2023. And the Labour Party counsel asked the witness, "Do you have the two subpoenas?" The witness replied, "Yes, sir." The Labour Party counsel asked, "Where are they?" And the witness said, "They are here with me." So the second Labour Party counsel said to the presiding judge, "My lord, we seek to tender the two subpoenas addressed to the MDs of Channels Television, addressed on the second dates issued by the Honourable Court." And all the respondents objected to this witness subpoenaed. So at this point, Tinubu's counsel stood up to give reasons for his objection, and he said, "Our objection is based on the competence of the witness to testify on these proceedings. Our objection is invested in the provision of the Electoral Act, paragraphs 4 and 5 of the 4th schedule to the Electoral Act. My lord, it is settled that a petition must be filed within 21 days on the results of the election." Tinubu's counsel went further to say, "My lord, the document that should have accompanied a petition should have been filed, and the petition must be accompanied with the witness statement and copies of evidence to be relied on for the petition, and a petition that fails to have these shall not be accepted by the secretary for filing. This witness is not even competent to testify to this proceeding." So that was Tinubu's lawyer saying that they are objecting because this was not filed within 21 days after the election. "You have incompetent witness," said Tinubu's counsel. "The subpoena has been admitted by the court and tagged as exhibit. So the counsel to Inec, Tinubu, Shetima, and the APC lawyers are objecting to the Channels Television witness. His testimony has not been adopted by the court because all the respondents are objecting to it, stating the testimony should have been filed earlier." So they are just saying that they are objecting because the filing was not made on time. But I think this was an empty backing. So the Inec counsel added, "My lord, the case of PDP versus Okupo, which learned colleague S.A.N. Levy was also involved, a ruling was passed like this." The presiding judge said to him, How does it matter who was in the case you are citing? You are wasting time. We want to watch film. At this point, he pointed at the big screen and everyone started laughing. Honestly, the judge was telling the Inec counsel that you don't need to be referring to all these things. We don't want to know who was involved in that case you are making reference to. All we want is let's focus on what we have at hand. And the APC counsel also added, "My lord, there is no difference between subpoenaed witness and ordinary witness. I joined my colleague to object," and he went ahead to cite some cases like ADP versus Inec. And the presiding judge disagreed right away with him and said, "You are wasting time. You are citing what has been cited already. There is no time." So at this point, the APC counsel rested his case. But before he did that, he said, "I want my lord not to adopt the application of the witness, and it should be refused. The timing for this testimony has elapsed." The Labour Party counsel quickly resisted him and said, "Subpoena, my lord, is an order of court issued to the witness either by the plaintiff or petitioner." He went further to expatiate and he said, "On paragraph 41, subparagraph 5 and 6 of the first schedule to the Electoral Act 2022 to submit with respect that even when a witness statement was not front-loaded with the petition, the witness can be allowed to testify in this honorable court," argued the Labour Party counsel. Also, the second Labour Party counsel added, "This witness is before the court on subpoena and by the authority of LASU versus Owoyemi 2009 Nigeria Weekly Report." So at this point, the APC counsel tried to correct the Labour Party counsel that he did not pronounce the Owoyemi rightly. And the Labour Party counsel quickly told the presiding judge, "My lord, you see, they know this case. They know it. And they didn't want to cite it. They don't want to cite it. They know it, oh. They don't want to cite it." And the presiding judge said, "It was cited yesterday. So even if they hide it, I already know it." The presiding judge was just busy, making everybody laugh. That you can't hide it. The truth is already there. So the Labour Party counsel tried to correct the pronunciation this time, and he said, "LASU versus Owoyemi." And the presiding judge quickly asked him, "You said LASU and what?" The Labour Party counsel said, "Owoyemi." The presiding judge said, "I thought you said Okutepa," and everybody started laughing again. So the Labour Party counsel went further to argue his case, and he said to the presiding judge, "My lord, I don't have a case yet. I also want to cite Tajuden Bello versus Odofin 2021 Law Pavilion Electronic Report. Also, in the case of Amachure versus Inec, the court also held that no witness should be held back when subpoenaed. A subpoenaed witness by authority can testify orally. What injury will be suffered? No injury will be suffered. And my lord should overrule this objection." And he went ahead to say that this is technically taken too far, and that they are doing so to run away from the punishment they know they will suffer. Yes, the Labour Party counsel was making his case that the APC counsel and those for Tinubu and Shetima, they were just running away from, the calamity that they will soon suffer. So the Labour Party counsel went ahead to say that the Inec chairman was speaking about this, and before he could finish saying, and the presiding judge interrupted him and said, "No, stop that. You are telling us what the witness wants to tell us." And the Labour Party counsel quickly reacted to the presiding judge and said, "No, it's public knowledge. That's why they are all objecting like this. They are hiding from the punishment of those statements," replied the Labour Party counsel. And the presiding judge said, "Please don't say that." So the Labour Party counsel went further to make his case, and he made another reference. He said, "Oni and Fayemi 2029 Supreme Court stated the rules of courts cannot be override the right of fair hearing, and my lord should allow us to proceed. Thank you." So he encouraged the presiding judge to allow the witness, the channel's television witness, to go ahead with his testimony. But you could see the other lawyers, opposing to that. Nobody knows why the APC lawyers and the lawyers to Tinubu and Shettima, even that for Inec, they don't want this witness to testify, and one keeps wondering why. The APC lawyer at this point said, "My learned colleague have cited a wrong thing and should be held in a professional misconduct." So everybody shouted, "Ah!" The presiding judge said, "Please don't say such. Stop it. That's why I said we should move on." The Labour Party counsel stood on his feet and he said, "My lord, permit me to state my objection." And the APC counsel said to the Labour Party counsel, "I'm still standing. Sit down." The Labour Party counsel replied him and said, "But I am standing to state my objection. You should know your senior and sit down when your senior is up." Everyone in the courtroom was like, "Huh?" So the presiding judge said, "What is that? How would you say such?" And another justice, Justice Ugo, said, "You are his senior, then you should know you are supposed to sit when an objection is being raised." Everyone in court was like, "Oh!" So you could see the desperation in the APC lawyer, because when you want to object, whosoever is standing should sit down while you make your objection. So I think this should be the first time a Labour Party counsel is objecting, and you could see him keep standing and telling him that he shouldn't say his objection. So Justice Ada also added, "You should know you will sit during an objection." Justice Ugo further said, "Please, let's maintain peace. This court case will finish and go, but you both will still remain here as learned counsels. Don't disrespect yourself because of a case." Wow, this was a good point. "Oh, thank you, the APC elder lawyer." I think this was a good point by this justice, that you don't need to fight yourselves because one day this case will end. The judges have now stated they will give their judgment on this case at the final hearing. So the Labour Party counsel requested that the witness present his evidence. At this point, the witness brought out 2 red flash drives. Inec counsel quickly stood up and said, "My learned colleague is giving me red flash drive instead of blue like my Chelsea." And the Labour Party counsel replied, "I know Pinheiro is a Chelsea fan, so he can have a red one like my Arsenal." And the presiding judge said, "You should have given him blue for Chelsea." The Labour Party counsel added, "That's why I give him red card." And the presiding judge said, "But both of you are still losers. Both Chelsea and Arsenal didn't even win anything." The presiding judge added and said, "Number 2 and number 18, loser association." This was really a funny scene. The flash drive tendered by the channel's television witness was not objected by the Inec, Tinubu, Shettima and APC counsels. They did not object at all to the admissibility of this evidence. So the Labour Party counsel now applied to play the flash drive. "It's time for the movie." "Hold on," Tinubu's lawyer stood up. "SAN Olujimi, my lord, objection. I object to this flash drive being played. They should have been served the video first, and then the law frowns against spring up of surprise." So he was like, they would have given us this thing to know what is inside before you come out to the public to start playing this video. We don't know the content, and we are a bit scared what could be shown. But it was so surprising that the Inec counsel said he was not objecting. He said, "No objection." And finally, the court admitted it and tagged it as Exhibit PBH3. Now, the Labour Party counsel applied to tender another video, and no objection came from any of the respondents. The court admitted and tagged it as Exhibit PBH4. Inec lawyer quickly stood up again and said, "We are indifferent about playing this flash drive. It's already admitted into evidence. So don't play it, since you've already admitted it. Don't play it. We have to know what is inside first before you come out to the public to start playing it." Inec don't give up. So the counsel to the APC, we stand with our colleagues to object to this flash drive being played so that we can go back to watch it. We have not played it yet to know the content, and we will need to prepare for cross-examination. This evidence should not be played. That this evidence shouldn't be played. Here are his words. He said, we stand with our colleagues to object to this flash drive being played so that we can go back to watch it. We have not played it yet to know the content, and we will need to prepare for cross-examination. This evidence should not be played.